Hello, Bulldogs, and welcome to our unit on body systems. We are going to be spending several weeks learning about body systems, and we're going to start with the digestive system and excretory system, along with the circulatory system and respiratory system this week. You will want to take notes while you watch this video, so be sure you are either typing in your notes or have a printed version of the notes that you may use while you take a quiz. So let's get started. We're going to start with the digestive system. So the digestive system is all about food and eating food and digesting food and absorbing the nutrients. So food provides your body with materials to grow and to repair tissue. It also provides energy for everything you do. So when you're eating that food provides you with the materials that your body and your cells need to grow and repair tissues, right? We already know that cells need to divide, and when the cells are dividing, it's growing and repairing any damage to tissues, or when your body is growing, right? It's cells are dividing. So in order for cells to do that, they need material, right? It needs atoms and molecules. And where does that material come from? It comes from the food that you eat. And also you need energy, and that comes from cellular respiration. Cellular respiration only happens when you have oxygen and glucose, and that glucose is also coming from the food that you eat. So the digestive system, a very important system of the body. Your body would not maintain homeostasis, would not stay in that nice balance unless you are eating food. When we're talking about the digestive system, we're going to be using the word nutrients a lot, which I feel like we use in everyday language, but it's important that you understand the word nutrients in terms of the scientific definition of it. So when we're saying nutrients, we're talking about food that has been broken down to be absorbed. So when you eat something like maybe a slice of pizza, once it is gone through the digestive system, that means that it has been broken down to material that is going to be absorbed into the bloodstream. And we're going to talk more about that later in this video. So the digestive system actually has three main functions. The first one is to break down food. The second is to absorb nutrients, which we just talked about, food that has been broken down and being absorbed into your bloodstream. And the third is to eliminate waste. So let's talk about those three processes. The first is the breakdown of food happens in two different ways. So digestion really actually happens in two different ways, mechanical and chemical, which actually should kind of bring back some memories from when we talked about weathering, right? From weathering, erosion, and deposition. Weathering actually happened in two different ways too, physical weathering and chemical weathering. And digestion, very similar, happens in mechanical and chemical digestion. So similar to physical and chemical weathering. But the breakdown of food happens mechanically when bites of food are torn or ground down into smaller and smaller pieces. This happens in the mouth with your teeth and in the stomach. So your stomach has muscles that are churning it and breaking it down into smaller and smaller pieces. So mechanical breakdown of food is very similar to physical weathering, where you're actually mechanically or physically just breaking the food into smaller and smaller pieces. Different than chemical digestion, where chemicals break down food into their building blocks. This is where chemicals like enzymes or acids are breaking food down chemically into their actual building blocks, like their atoms and molecules. That happens in the mouth with your saliva, right? So your saliva has enzymes in it. And in your stomach, the stomach acid is chemically breaking down the food as well. And intestines, your intestines. The digestive system has the second main function, remember, is absorption. And this is actually like a key function. A lot of times when we think of digestive system, we only think of like the breakdown of food, but a crucial part of the digestive system is the second part, and that is absorption of nutrients. So tune in here. Absorption is the process by which those nutrient molecules pass from the digestive system into the bloodstream. So most absorption occurs in the small intestines. And I want you to look at this picture really quickly. This is a small little tube, or not small, in the small intestines, the tube, and this is kind of zoomed in, the villi. They're like these little finger-like things that are all throughout the small intestines. And each villi has capillaries, which are part of the circulatory system, and we're going to learn more about that this week. And those capillaries have, that's part of your bloodstream. So through the process of diffusion, that nutrients is now small enough that it can pass from your small intestines, where those villi are like little fingers, so the food particles or the nutrients at this part are passing through the villi, and from high concentration to low concentration are now able to absorb into your bloodstream. And then your bloodstream actually acts like a transportation system throughout your body and can carry that nutrients to all the cells of your body. So key process here in the digestive system is that absorption into your bloodstream. So a lot of people think of the digestive system just as the breakdown of food, which of course is important, but even more importantly is that absorption process of where it's going from the small intestines into the bloodstream. Because without that part, then that nutrients wouldn't be getting to the rest of our body, which is where it needs to go, right? All of that nutrients needs to get to our cells so that our cells can perform cellular respiration. And then, of course, the third part is elimination. So materials that are not absorbed are eliminated. All right, and moving on to the excretory system. The main function of the excretory system is to eliminate waste. This happens through the lungs, through the skin, through the kidneys, and through the digestive system. So that's why we put these two systems together, is that the excretory system and the digestive system actually work pretty closely together. So overall, cells are producing waste, right? Your entire body is made up of cells, and every single cell is producing waste. If this waste is not eliminated, then homeostasis is not maintained and cells will die. If cells are dying, your whole body's not maintaining homeostasis, bad things are happening. So excretory system, digestive system must work together to maintain homeostasis along with your other systems in the body, or our body is not functioning properly. So waste excreted through the skin is excreted as sweat. So anytime you're sweating, you're excreting waste through your skin. When you are exhaling, so you're exhaling carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is a waste that is produced by your cells, and that we'll talk more about this when we get to the respiratory system, but the carbon dioxide is another thing that travels through your bloodstream and then goes to your lungs and then is exhaled. So that's just part of the excretory system. Excretory means to exit, right? Exit, excretory. So just anything exiting the body and exiting as a waste. So exhaling, when you exhale, you are exhaling carbon dioxide and other gases, but one of the wastes that you are exhaling is carbon dioxide. Then one of the main features of the excretory system is the urinary system. So I do want to focus on this for just a moment. The urinary system consists of the kidneys and the ureters, which leads to the bladder. And so what is happening here is your blood is actually being filtered through your kidneys. So your blood goes through the kidneys, which filters out any waste, and then that waste and water goes through the ureters and fills up your bladder, and that waste is excreted as urine or by urinating. And then the last one is goes back to the digestive system. So if you think back to when we were talking about nutrients being absorbed into the bloodstream in the small intestines, water is also absorbed into the bloodstream. So after water and nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream, because those are two materials that our body needs, right? We don't want to excrete those and get rid of them. We need water and we need nutrients. So those two things are going to go into the bloodstream because we need them. Anything else, we don't need that. That is waste. So that's going to go to the large intestines to be prepared to be eliminated as waste. So it's going to go through the large intestines and then be stored in the rectum until it is ready to be eliminated as waste, as feces. That is it for your notes on the digestive system and excretory system. If you have any questions about these two systems, please send your teachers a message on Schoology, or better yet, come to some live sessions and ask some questions, especially if you're struggling with the quizzes on these systems. Make sure you're coming to live sessions and ask questions. Remember, you do have 2 chances on the quizzes, and we're recording the highest score. So if you take it once and you don't get a very good score, do not take it right away. Come to a live session, ask some questions, rewatch a video, go read the section in the textbook, and then try retaking it. All right, doodles.